Hi,
Satu, dua, tiga, okay.
hi, Assalamualaikum. A very good morning to Madam Norida and also to our future doctors here. Alright, my name is Lukman Hariz and I'm here to talk with you about this disease, which is called Wernicke-Korsakoff syndrome. So actually, Wernicke-Korsakoff syndrome is one of the type brain disorder like Parkinson or Alzheimer, and it is rarely happen based on the National Organization for Rare Disease or not. So the main point here I would like to talk about is the what is the causes for the patient to have this disease, which is consists of the first one is alcohol time interaction, and the second one is the time deficiency, and the third one is the post-gastrectomy. Alright, before that, let's go briefly to the background of this disease. Alright, actually this disease is consists of two types of different conditions, which is the first one is Wernicke disease and the second one is Korsakoff syndrome. So how this disease was found out? Alright, back to the 19th century, at the end of the 19th century, there's a man who named Carl Wernicke found an hemorrhage in the lower part of the brain, and he just named this disease is called as the Wernicke encephalopathy. And after several years, there was a Russian psychiatrist, which his name was Sergei Korsakoff, and found out that a patient that have a disturbance in memory because of the polyencephalopathy on the patient's brain. So he named this disease as the Korsakoff syndrome. But in 1897, the Murad postulated that this disease has a single syndrome, which is named as the Wernicke-Korsakoff syndrome. So let's go to the symptoms of the Wernicke-Korsakoff syndrome. So these are the main symptoms for the Wernicke-Korsakoff syndrome, or the WKS, which is the first one is the confusion, loss of memory, and have the loss of coordination of muscle, or it is called as ataxia. And also it has a loss of memory and cannot make a new memory, and also will try to make up stories or confabulation. So that's a symptom of the Wernicke-Korsakoff syndrome, or the WKS. So let's go to the main causes for this disease, which is alcohol time interaction, time deficiency, and also post-gastrectomy. So for the alcohol time interaction, as we know that the content of the alcohol contain a compound named ethanol, and this ethanol will interfere the uptake of the thymine in the gastrointestinal tract. And besides that, the alcohol also can cause the liver cirrhosis. Alright, how come the liver cirrhosis will interaction? Because of the alcohol interact with the thymine. Alright, actually when the alcohol causes liver cirrhosis, the liver cannot fully functional. The liver is responsible for the storage of the thymine, and besides that, also at the liver, the thymine will convert into the active form, which is the thymine pyrophosphate. Which is thymine pyrophosphate is very important in the cell metabolism as a cofactor. And so that's how these causes will cause the Wernicke-Korsakoff syndrome. So let's move to the next. Alright, this time deficiency. Alright, time deficiency, the first one, because of time deficiency, it can cause Wernicke encephalopathy, which is in a Wernicke encephalopathy, like I can say that there's a brain damage in lower part of the brain, which is called as the thalamus and also the hypothalamus. And besides that, you also, because of the thymine deficiency, it also got oxidative damage, which there will be a mitochondrial injury, which leading to the apoptosis of the nerve cell in the brain. So besides that, because of the thymine deficiency, it will also cause a cell metabolism impairment. So how come the cell metabolism impairment happen? So the thymine pyrophosphate is serves as a factor, like I said this before, and it is responsible for aiding the enzyme in the cell metabolism. And besides that, because of the timeline for the phosphate is decreased, and it will cause the decrease in alpha ketoglutarate dehydrogenase, which is very important in the glucose metabolism. And besides that, it will also cause oxidative toxicity in the areas of the brain. So let's move to the last part, is the post-gastrectomy. Alright, from the studies that I have read on the article that published in the 1970s, there are several researchers that conduct a study that was compared to only 3 patients who recently undergone a gastrectomy. And what they found out that this patient is actually developed WKS, which also, but not, they are not alcoholic and had never suffered from dietary deprivation. And because of the post-gastrectomy, usually it will cause WKS between 2 until 20 years. And besides that, it is because it is lack of absorption of thymine from the gastrointestinal tract was the cause, because of the removal of one part or whole part of the stomach. So that is how it, so this is the cause that cause the patient to have Wernicke syndrome. So before that, for the summary, I would like to say that. So for summary, I would like to say that even though these diseases are very rare, but we as a medical student have to learn it, because sometimes in future we might face a patient that will have this kind of rare disease. So I really hope that all of us will continue to work hard in this medical field. So before I end this speech, I would like to show you some video. So that's all for me. Thank you. Okay, dah.